When I bought a car, um, the salesman, like I had walked in going, here's the car that I want. I saw that it's on your lot. I'd like to buy it. And they were like, do you want to test drive it? I'm like, I've driven one before. I'm sure it's fine. I'd like to get in and out of here as quickly as possible. They already had the sale. Just happened to be the person who I was talking to is the one who gets the sale.
Yeah.
And like I'm sitting there, and it is, by the way, I walked in right before closing. So there's no reason for another customer to be coming in after me when I've already been at the desk for 20 minutes. So someone walks in with what looks like an empty envelope, dressed the same as all the other salespeople. And the woman who's trying to sell me the car just like, oh, hey, Dave, good to see you. What are you doing here? And he goes, just paying for the Prius. That's what I was buying as well. He was just paying for the Prius. And she goes, well, how do you like it? He goes, well, what I feel doesn't matter. My friends are all jealous, and isn't that the point?
Oh,
I just look at her. And I'm
friends
just like,
are all jealous of his Prius.
it's a setup. They're fucking selling or boy.
Yeah, and I just say to her, and I go, I'm already buying the car. What are you trying to do? She's like, whatever are you talking about? I was like, that guy he's going to another day. You know what? Fine, forget about it. So then when I was with the finance guy afterward, I asked him, I just go, hey, how do the commissions work with the sales here? Like, do you get any of it? And he goes, if I help sell the car, yeah. I go, so if you help sell this car, you get like half the commission? And he goes, yeah. And I go, put down that you're the reason I bought the car.
Smart.
I was just like, fuck that asshole. Like,
Yeah.
I was already buying it. That stupid community theater bullshit she tried to pull on me. I'm not that stupid. So it cost her whatever, $1,000 or whatever the hell the commission was.
Whew, good.
And the finance guy was very pleased with how that went down.
It wasn't $1,000, but it
it
cost her money. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
I like pettiness as well. So that's.
I love that they had a ringer come in. I love the Prius. I can't wait to get going. 0 to 60 in a minute and a half. Count me in.
Yeah.
I
goes 0 to 60 in theory.
They were selling.
I'm sure he was just like a couple desks down.
They were trying to sell me some additional warranty, and my philosophy on these is that if it was a good deal for me, then you wouldn't sell it to me. Right, like that's the thought. Obviously, they've worked out that if I pay an extra $1,000 a year on this thing, I probably get less than $1,000 a year in repairs, and that's why they're selling it to me. That's what's in my head. So he's laying it out, and I listen to him politely, but like obviously, I'm waiting for it to end. And no, so he goes to a cheaper option, and we go through a couple of them, and I'm like, dude, like I lay it out there. This isn't happening. And he's like, well, if you're not going anywhere, at least get there fast. And he skipped to the end and we signed the papers. I loved it.
Yeah, it is a good deal a lot of the times because what they've actually factored in is over the course of all of our customers, how many will actually have X, Y, and Z issue that costs 1, 2, and 3 multiplied by how many customers will actually remember they have a warranty and use it, minus what you're paying times X amount of customers. Like we sold this thing called Permaplate, which didn't even exist, which was supposed to be like a fabric, coating that repelled stains and liquids. And
it was supposed to be a fabric coating.
Yeah, like we had these swatches of fabric that had been treated with a thing called Permaplate, and you could pour like fucking Coca-Cola on these like cloth seats, and it would just roll off like water, like it was glass. Pretty cool, I guess. If you got kids, especially, and you've got cloth seats. But we and also in the paint, it was supposed to prevent like sun damage, UV damage, and fading, and all that bullshit. But the thing is, we didn't actually put it on the cars, like ever, like because I remember it was $700. It was $700 to have Permaplate applied to your car. And I remember asking a manager once, I was like, so do all the cars already have it on them? And then we just try to sell it? or do they apply it if we sell it? Because it's an addition thing that I would sell as a salesman. Like during the car sale, it wasn't the finance shit that happens with the warranties. It was before that. And he's like, yeah, something like that. And I was like, what? Well, it's either one or the other. Either it's on them all already, or it's on none of them already, and they're gonna put it on. He's like,
there is a third option.
It's really about peace of mind.
Put it on nothing.
They're like, what do you mean it's about peace of mind? He's like, well, you get a warranty when you buy the permaplate, and if you get a stain, then we fix the seat. I was like, okay, all right. But
there's a good little bit of advice. If a salesman says that it's for your peace of mind, you don't need it.
What it was
guaranteed.
Look, the thing was, I could sell permaplate for $100 or $110. I would just make numbers up sometimes. I've sold it for $1,000 before. Like just making the numbers up as I went along. Just sell it for whatever, and they'd be like, sure, whatever. Fuck it. Oh, $100 permaplate? Yeah, just write it up. Let's go. Because it's just extra. And what you were actually buying was a warranty. There was no coating on your car. Your seats are regular fucking seats. But you just bought a warranty that says if your seats ever fucking get stained, they'll replace them bitches. It was a huge value when you got to the bottom of it, because no one, and I mean no one, ever came back in and said, I've got a stain on my seat. They never did it once. I've never heard of it. No one ever saw it happen. It never occurred. No, everybody forgets.
Oh, you mean it was a huge value for you as a salesperson?
No. For you as a customer. If I were selling that car to my best friend in the world, I'd be like, let's get the permaplate on there, get it on the contract. Let's just do it, make it $100 or $200 if we can. But if you've got to pay $700 for this, let's do it. Because if you ever fucking get a stain on your seat, they're not just going to massage the stain out. They have to replace that motherfucker. They have to they have to refabric your whole seat.
What I'm getting out of this is you would have upcharged your hypothetical best friend.
I'd have sold my best friend
$200.
I'd have sold my best friend one of the most fantastic warranties in existence on the planet that allows them at any time for like
Man,
5 years.
you really put into the bullshit, didn't you?
No, it was real. It doesn't.
Not only would you
no
have sold
bullshit.
it, you would have sold it to your best friend and had an extra empty seat right next to you.
As sure as there are 2 chairs behind my desk, for some reason, this is a good deal.
No, even better. You see this chair right here?
You see
this chair right here? It's been coated with permaplate. I just pour a whole Coca-Cola on it. You notice how that's soaking in and really staying in the fabric? Well, it doesn't make a fuck because the warranty still covers it. Am I right?
20 minutes later, Rich's ass is covered in soda.
Isn't that right, Rich? He's over there with his pants off in the seat.
There's some poor guy who's just like, man, I don't
get the mustard out.
I don't make nearly enough of this sparks to clear the mustard out. The salesman Kyle, he says to them, it will get mustard right out. What he does, he spray the mustard. I begin to suck it up, but it never get out. Thankfully, he put them away before he noticed.
I feel that way about
I want to go home.
Warranties. I feel every warranty. I feel like they have some actuary who's figured out that they're selling me $1,000 thing because they know it'll have less than that in repairs.
It's about how
there's actually
you're 1,000,000% right, Woody.
And the thing that Kyle is saying, hey, I'm sorry, Kyle's saying, hey, if you take advantage of the warranty, it's actually become a better deal. The trouble is, I feel like I don't. I bought warranties on a handfuls of furniture, and like even though I think not long ago our couch, dog Pete or something like that. So I call them up. I'm like, hey, we got the full warranty, and they're like, oh, this isn't really the number. You need to call this other person. You need to work with the salesman who sold it to you, who doesn't work here anymore. And there's this runaround that we eventually found was like more of a pain in the ass than like steam cleaning the couch.
Yeah,
I've definitely used Apple Care.
That is an exception. Yeah.
And I've used warranties on like expensive electrical stuff, but the thing that you're not thinking of with insurance and warranties and stuff like that, the other calculation they do is investing the money. Like if they break even on all of it, they still made, depending on what they invest in, 5 to 10%.
Or you could have. Or you could have. That same time value of money applies to your money too.
Right. The idea, like when, my ex was a parallel parker that would sometimes ding car. And so like on that, fucking warranty.
I feel you, bro.
So it depends on like your peace of mind also, and insurance in general. Like my health insurance, I get health insurance with a high deductible because my health insurance is not there for when I get sick. It's there in case of catastrophe.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only reason I want it is because in case I have to go to a hospital and they charge you $300,000 for whatever the fuck it is, I want that to be covered. I don't care if I spend $1,200 a year on doctors, like on or $3,000 or whatever, when I could have only spent $2,500. Like I don't give a fuck about that. I give a fuck about what happens if I am stuck in a hospital for a year. So depends on how you drive.
Yeah. We don't do that. We have a lot of insurance, but I think we should do what you do. It's just And
also for car insurance, I make sure that I have a deductible. Or I have something that covers glass, because the only thing I've ever had to do is, aside from like an accident 10 years ago, like on a daily basic, the basis of owning a car is fucking chips on the windshield all the time. Someone kicks up a fucking rock, get a chip in the windshield.
That's covered.
So if that's covered,
we get that covered too. We can get that covered too.
Yeah, as long as you have something that covers that, like the rest of the shit, you're not gonna fix if someone scratched you with a shopping cart. You're not gonna fucking take your car in for that. But if you don't fix the chip in the windshield, the whole thing's going to crack. So you have to. So.
Yeah, I want to say the thing for the windshield costs like $150 to $300 somewhere in there. You could negotiate, of course. And they would actually handle that shit because I had a customer come in once and they was like, yep, fucking chip in the windshield. Let's go. And they were like, fuck, it actually came back, huh? Yep, I do that. And they had to call like the glass repair people, and they came out there and they inject it with the epoxy or whatever the fuck they do and repair the whole
Safe
glass.
Light people.
The thing
Safe
is,
Life repair, Safe Life replace.
A new windshield is nice and it's not that expensive. Like instead of $150 up front that you may or may not use, you pay $300 on the back end when you do need it, and then you get your new windshield and you're like, oh my god, I didn't realize how much I'd love a new windshield.
I can't believe I put off getting a new windshield for so long. Although it was expensive. I know glass was going to be different for different cars, but I want to say mine was $500 or $600 installed.
Yeah, they can get pretty pricey. I mean, I've put, some years on the road, I've put, 40, 50,000 miles on. So you're going to get, and also a lot of highway driving, you're going to get trucks kicking up chips. Mm-hmm. And so like, it's